Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Neutral Game. I am one of your hosts, Colin Detmar.
Hello, I'm one of your other hosts, Miodrag. I'm also a folk.
Our folky host.
Yes.
So, we have a special guest this week. Harrison, how you doing?
Doing good. Howdy, y'all.
What brings you to our show, Harry?
Because not even 6 months ago, I had no idea how to play fighting games, and thanks to these two excellent podcast hosts, I got into fighting games.
So our history with you is a bit longer than that. I think we all met back on a forum back in the day, right?
Back 5 years
Harry
ago.
Back then,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, we met on, what was it? Kotakuit, and then, I don't even know how you pronounce it, I don't know how you spell it, and then, which turned into Talk Amongst Yourselves, then Press X or Die.
Press X or Die,
Yeah.
eventually,
Yeah.
Just a little forum for a bunch of people who were fans of one website, Kotaku, obviously at the time. Though changes happened. People's attitudes changed. And back then, you weren't so much with the fighting games, right? Like what was your history with fighting games before all of this?
Well, back before, in the good old days, like the 2000s, like there were arcades near me. And I'll also definitely try like fighting games, but like I didn't really get good at fighting games, you know. And then a friend tried to convince me to play Street Fighter 4 with him, and I noped out of that one real quick because I had no idea what I was doing. So I always like had an interest in fighting games, but I never really like had like a good like knowledge and a good friend who would like teach me, you know.
Yeah, and it's really hard to break sort of like. To do that initial like breakthrough into feeling comfortable in a fighting game, right? That's a big ask, is getting through that initial wall. No pressure if the answer is no, but I'm just curious. Have you listened to episodes of Neutral Game?
I have listened to a couple of them, yeah.
So we have made an effort, not on all of them, but on a lot of them, to try and help people like have some advice for how to get into fighting games. Have you has any of that been helpful for you?
I mean, you kind of got me started on fighting games, and then I kind of backtracked and then listened to Neutral Game. So I don't know if that was helpful, but it definitely is helpful if you want to try and get to fighting games, you know?
Excellent.
This is just us trying to confirm that we're not talking out of our ass.
Who is more helpful, Mio or me?
Wow.
What is... I can't pick sides here, man.
Who has the better brand? Me, the cute bear, or Colin, the... What is even your brand? The sick anime boy.
A pair of pink glasses floating in the void.
Yes.
Listen. Yeah.
I think the real Soviet bear works out, because, like, Soviets are cool. And they've been a mainstay in fighting games, you know? Zangief. It works.
That's true. I mean, the glasses are popular.
I'm sorry, Colin. You brought this. You started this question. I'm ending it.
That's fair.
There's underrepresentation of fighting game characters with glasses. You know why? Because if you get punched in the head, it's gonna hurt even more.
That is very true.
Kyosuke from Rival Schools was okay.
What are these anime games you're talking about?
Rival Schools? Okay, listen. It's okay.
I have a genuine question. Does anyone in Street Fighter 5 or 4 wear glasses?
Fong.
That's about it, right? That's only him.
Unless you go into DLC costumes, I think that's probably.
Oh
wait, and Sea Viper.
Right.
Those are like sunglasses, though. They're not like I need to see.
They're probably prescription.
I don't. think so.
It's not super popular. Okay, so like what was the thing that made you decide to take them seriously? What flipped the switch for you?
Well, like 4 years ago, I bought a Mini 3 Hori stick, and since I grew up playing in the arcades, I love fight sticks, you know? I can never really get into fighting games on a pad. And Skullgirls was $2.50 on a Steam sale, so I bought that. And it was lying in my library until, like, it went on sale for you, Colin, and then you got it, and we started playing together.
Yeah, I always, I had it on PS3 since it launched on PS3, and then, my PS3 went in a box, so I stopped playing Skullgirls, and I was like, I should really get it on PS4 on PC, but I don't want to pay full price to get it again. And then the sale happened. So
it was also like really cheap. It was like $250, and like that's a very good like barrier to entry, you know.
For sure.
Like that's 2.5 Arizona cans I could be buying. Like, I can skip 2.5 Arizonas.
Yeah, I'm curious, since Skullcrawls was for a time the fighting game with the best tutorial around. Since you started off with Skullcrawls, technically, did it help you ease into the genre as a whole?
Yeah, definitely. Like there's no half circles or it's everything's quarter circles except for like a couple of moves, and that's like definitely like very easy for you to grasp. You know, it's like the Arxis Persona 4 where everything's also quarter circles. That's an easy game to pick up too. But like the tutorial in Persona 4 Arena was not as good as Skullgirls, you know?
Oh right, you got Persona 4 Arena when it launched, right?
Yeah, I know. I also did not know how to play that game. I just mashed the auto combo button, you know?
Mm-hmm. See, that's interesting to me because I remember, Skullgirl was always quoted for the tutorial, and then Persona 4 Arena also quoted for the auto combo button. And for me, as someone who plays fighting games a lot, it's kind of hard to put myself in the shoes of someone who's, a full beginner, and see how useful that actually is. Have you played BlazBlue or BlazBlue?
I've played a lot of BlazBlue I can pull up the stats for you right now. I've played around 18 hours with Colin, just on and off.
Okay, so I want to ask, since we're like on the topic of, since you mentioned the auto combo, did you play in stylish mode or regular mode in BlazBlue?
Well, I didn't play BlazBlue before I got into fighting games, so I just try and play the technical version, because I feel like playing on stylish is kind of a crutch, especially if you want to get better at the game, and that's what I want to do, you know?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I think like the first like couple of matches you played a couple on stylish, but it was like you didn't. If I'm recalling correctly, it didn't feel like you were in control of what was happening, and it's like this isn't a rewarding way to get better. So.
Yeah, it's like time to rip the Band-Aid off, to get good.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you just rely on stylish mode, like you'll never be able to like pull off the move that you want to do, you know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. That's a big thing that I have always I've taught a few people fighting games. Well, taught. I have been a few people's door into fighting games, though I don't know if any of them have taken to it quite as quickly as you, Harry. And very often I'm kind of like, people can do what they want to do, but I feel like it's really dangerous to get in the habit of relying on easy modes because they're just kind of a trap that will keep you from actually learning how to play. And intentionality is always better than,
But like in Skullgirls, right? Like these moves aren't that hard to pull off. Like I still really can't pull off like double full circles in like grappler games. Like I try playing Bullet in BlazBlue, which she's a character who relies on doing 2 360 motions with her stick and pulling it off the combo, and that's, super, but like that's really hard to do. But in Skullgirls, like that's just a one full circle, and 360 detection, so you won't jump during it, and that it feels good to do, and it also is achievable for someone who's never played fighting games before to do.
Yeah, going back to BlazBlue, I miss 360 detection so much.
Yeah, I don't like 360 inputs in general, because it seems like I never, I know people can do standing 360s, and God knows how long they need to practice that, but usually how I just do them is during the animation of another move, just so I wouldn't accidentally jump. So like I do something, and while that other thing is happening, I do a 360 motion, which I guess, like, if that's the intention of the game, like, we don't want you to just do this move raw, we want you to set up for it, then it's fine, but it seems like a very weird way to do it.
Yeah, I don't love it. And yeah, like the bullet super you are talking about, I cannot do it without jumping, and it makes it pretty fucking obvious what I'm trying to do.
I can't do it at all, so you're fucking way ahead of me there.
Yeah.
Well, I've only got like 3 years on you. It's not a big deal.
I'm catching up.
I've been playing games for God knows how long, and it's still 360, 720s, or 1080s. I think that there's a 1080 input for something in BlazBlue.
There are a couple. The Tager's Astral is a 1080, but also the Bullet Super. If you have, if you're powered up, if you're in a powered up state, you do a 720, and then during that 720 animation, you do another 720, and during that animation, you do a 1080.
Yeah, that's the one I was thinking.
They give you a lot of time to do that, but it's still like you still feel your wrist do a little burning. It's not super pleasant.
Nope, it's not, especially not if you're playing on a pad instead of a stick.
So, like you said, one of the problems for you getting into it was control scheme, right? That you never felt comfortable on a pad.
Yeah, not really.
You just have trouble getting moves out, or it just didn't feel right, or both, or...
I mean, like, the games that I would usually play at the arcades are just, like, six buttons, right? Like Street Fighter, MVC2, like, old MVC2 arcade cabinet, and that was dope. But, like, I always never really felt comfortable with the 4 face buttons and the triggers. Like, I would want everything, like, laid out in front of me, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
It's definitely easier to visualize it as opposed to, like, trying to, like, finagle it and trying to, like, memorize, like, triangles actually a light punch.
Yeah, it was always a weird feeling to me, too.
Have you ever played a fighting game that made you feel like you'd rather play it on a pad or not on an arcade stick? Like, I don't know, or have you played a game that you want to play on a keyboard?
Keyboard, I don't know. I feel like I've seen like players make a hitbox with their keyboard, but it never felt right to me. But like, I feel like Persona 4 Arena was probably one of those games where you could be playing it on a pad, you know?
Mm-hmm. Because I know, like go on.
No, you first.
I was gonna say because right now at the office we're playing Tekken 7 quite a lot during lunch breaks, and there's one person who played a lot of fighting games like Guilty Gear, Street Fighter, basically the works, and they play everything exclusively on arcade stick except Tekken. Tekken is like the only thing they say, oh yeah, I'll play this on the pad. Like it doesn't feel right on the stick, or they just don't like playing it on the stick.
I could kind of see it, given how mostly you don't have to do that many motions for your moves, and it is just the 4 buttons, and I could see how that makes sense.
See, to me, it's a bit weird, because Tekken also benefits a lot from face buttons, because you have only 4 face buttons, but you also have a lot of combinations of face buttons, so if you're playing on a pad, you still need all the macros for all the possible button combinations.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, but you try to like do the thing that you do where you like angle your thumb so you can hit like multiple buttons at once, and that's like I could see how people like could get used to that, you know.
So, do you think also it was just sort of a factor of finding the 2 games that I have seen you get into have been Skullgirls and BlazBlue Central Fiction, and I guess I'm curious if you feel like those games, like, is it now that you're into fighting games, are we just sort of off to the races and those happen to be the ones you're playing, or does it feel like there's something different about those games that works better for you?
I mean, I like the character designs in both of those games a lot, you know, and I don't know, I definitely am open to trying out a lot more games. Like, I'm pretty excited for Dragon Ball Z's the Fighters, or whatever it's called, because like the character designs are cool, and like I feel like BlazBlue and Skullgirls definitely do have a lot of depth to them. Like they're all easy to play, but they also have like a lot of like intricate like stuff that you could like get into. Because like Big Bad has that like multiple like chart, like you do the taunt and you get like powered up supers and all that, and you have like squiggly fall stances. Like, yeah, that's like basic, right? But it's a lot of depth to get into, especially with the 12 characters that you have.
So you'd say that you're an anime fighter boy.
No.
Is Skullgirls anime?
Skullgirls is like...
Is Skullgirls the Avatar, the Last Airbender?
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, would you call Avatar the Last Airbender anime?
You're getting into the Amerame discussion, which is always a weird one.
Well, Skullgirls is basically
let's not go down that road.
To be fair.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Like, wait, is Marvel an anime fighter?
Marvel plays like an anime fighter,
but
I don't think it is an anime fighter, but stylistic, like as far as how it controls the, like, okay, maybe I should say you're an air dash fighter. You like that air mobility.
I don't really like the air mobility though. Like I appreciate that it's there, but like I rather just like fight on the ground, you know? Like I'm not a fan of like the super like jump aerials, but like
okay, I think I know what the issue here is. You like games that don't have boring characters. Is that?
Yeah, that does sound about right.
Yeah, there we go. So that's why he doesn't play Street Fighter.
That's fair. That's fair.
I mean, I also don't play Street Fighter because I don't have enough money to buy Street Fighter right now.
Well, don't worry. You'll if you get it, you'll regret it. So,
Ooh.
Okay, yeah, we should probably tone it down. We accept all fighting games and fighting game choices. We're just trying to to find out what Harry's affinities are.
Yeah, and I'm being a little sassier than normal because Harry's a very good friend of mine. No offense meant. So okay, like what like. You and I have played a lot, but is that generally how you tend to enjoy fighting games, or do you find yourself doing a lot of single player, or you a bit of an online warrior? You want to do some ranked matches, or?
I tend to avoid online as much as possible because I was real confident in my squirrel's abilities from playing you for like 3 months, and then I went online and got my ass kicked like completely. Like I got perfected multiple times, and then I'm scared off of it now. So, but like that does definitely motivate me to go into like the training mode and like practice combos for like hours on end because I want to be as good as other people online.
So that was my next question. Is that your preferred method of practicing? Is training room and like working out those combos?
I mean, yeah, but I also definitely want to play with other people more, and I feel like getting a group of friends to play with you and try to practice on them is better than hopping in a training room practicing on a dummy for hours on end because you can't adapt, or going online and getting either wiping somebody or getting destroyed, and those are 2 options.
You should probably not play Mio for a little while.
I mean,
it won't be that different from online matchmaking.
I mean, I am pretty bad at Skullgirls, so we can always play that.
That's a possibility.
Sounds great.
But no, I do get that. I think that is one of the major complaints I hear from people in general about fighting games. Like, I try to play online and then get my ass kicked. Especially in Skullgirls, that sounds like it might be a problem because the smaller the player base is, the higher the chances are you'll end up with people that are better. And basically the longer the game exists, like the chances of you encountering beginner players is lower. That's why, like, when I started Tekken, like, I was pretty bad at Tekken, but my first online experience was something like a 15 win streak, which was ridiculous, but it's also because I got people who were at my level or lower who just, like, picked up the game.
Yeah, for the record, when I played a few matches of Skullgirls online, when I played them very right at launch, I had a few good games, but when I tried them again recently on PC, the first match I played against someone who did like a huge combo, and then there was like a point, Skullgirls has an anti-infinite system, where like the hit effects change and you can hit a button to break out of an infinite loop. And it was an infinite loop break bait. They were trying to get me to break the infinite so they could launch me into another infinite. I got savaged. I didn't get a hit in.
That's generally how my experience went too. And when I would go on these people's Steam profiles, I would see they would have 1,000 hours of Skullgirls, and that made me like not sad, but just kind of I got a lot of work to do,
Yeah, and how likely are you to do it, right? Like I don't know how much time I want to spend memorizing infinites.
Right, especially with every single character. There's so many like possibilities because it's a choose your own like ratio kind of game where you can pick 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters.
Yeah, I kind of like that. I remember when Skullgirls was released that the anti-infinite system was there as a method of preventing players from basically ending up in infinites. Like it's meant to protect you from the game becoming imbalanced or whatnot. But it just created this entire meta game of infinite baiting, I guess.
And also like doing an infant and then just adding like 1 different move in here and there to slightly modify your infant so they weren't technically repeating and stuff. Like there's a whole weird system around gaming that.
Yeah, it reminds me of, what was it? BlazBlue, when they added the same attack penalty. Like if you did the same attack twice in a row, basically the second one would do less damage, have less hit stun and things like that. And it was like, it's meant to, prevent people from spamming and stuff like that. But it just ended up changing the combo routes, but it didn't change anything in terms of the difficulty of the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I feel like at like a base level of like the first layer, Skullgirls is a game that it's like you can play it however you want, like without any combos, and it's fine. It's like you play it like a 1v1 fighter or a 2v2 fighter or a 3v3 fighter. But as you get up like the ladder and you see like more experienced people, it becomes like a Marvel vs. Capcom 3 type of deal, you know?
Yeah.
Where it's like crazy combos, fucking like off the wall bullshit, and then somebody jumps in and he gets like 100-0 real quick. Even in the tutorial, I saw like they teach you how to like kill a guy who's jumping in from 100-0 by doing the same combo over and over again.
Yeah, I don't know. I never meshed well with Skullgirls because I never thought a lot of the design liberties it took were that beneficial. Like, I thought that the idea of you picking whether you want 1, 2, or 3 characters was always weird, because on the non-base level, picking one character really, there's no point, because the value of an assist is more than any numerical boost you might get to your health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when Harry and I play, we tend to play 1v1, just because we like the game better that way.
Mm.
But it is true that if you're playing online, don't pick 1v1. You're just going to get bodied.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not CVS2. It's not KOF style with people coming in one by one with no incoming setups and no assists, which allows that kind of system to work sometimes. But
yeah. Well, let's see.
Anyway, that's getting
Skullgirls
a bit granular.
Yeah, Skullgirls 2 will probably be better.
Oh boy, I hope they make a Skullgirls 2. I don't know though.
In 5 years, possible, when they kickstart it. Which I'll totally back that. Honestly, it's a great game.
Is that like what games are you looking forward to then, Harry?
Well, I definitely the Dragon Ball Z fighter, because I like the 3v3 and I like the engine that Arxis uses, the 3D one. Like, I think that's cool as shit.
Yeah.
See, like, NBC Infinite I have very mixed feelings about that. I don't know how that's gonna pan out. Is there anything else coming up, like, in, like, the next year or two?
Yes, there are a few things. I mean, if you count Absolver, that's a fighting game. It's a weird fighting game, but it's a fighting game. That comes out in, like, 3 days from now. Well,
is that so?
Yeah, actually, from the time of you people listening to this, it's already out.
Huh. Yeah, I need to do more homework into Absolver. There's also there's going to be a Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle.
Oh my god.
Which
every time I hear that,
the whole thing.
Every time I hear that,
I don't get it. What? I mean, I'll take more Blaze Blue, but I just don't understand why they came out with that. Like, I get in the sense that, like, you gotta appeal to the mass market, but I just don't understand how that happened, you know?
It's very simple. They had all the art assets from 3 games that were 2D, and it could be scaled up to the same resolution, and they just figured, okay, we can cash in on this. I mean, when I say cash in, I don't mean it in a negative way. I mean just like, hey, we have all this art we can use for more stuff. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And then SNK has announced that they have a bunch of new fighting game projects to announce in the coming days. Whatever timescale that means, I'm not sure.
Wait, in the coming days?
I don't know their exact phrasing, but they say they are working on some new fighting games that they have not announced.
Yeah, I am
multiple.
God, if there is a Garo, I will be very happy.
Are they going back to the hand-drawn sprites? No. They're not, aren't they?
They're no
I
chance,
doubt it.
No.
It's so expensive. I doubt they'll do that.
Yeah.
Which is too bad, but it would be fun. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess is there anything else you wanna touch on, Harry, before we tap out here? I'm
excited to play more fighting games, basically. You know, I'm excited to play, like, Guilty Gear when I get the chance. I mean, I might try out Street Fighter, because I do want to try out the OG, like, fighting game, despite how bad the new one might be. And I saw the EVO, like, finals, and that was hype as fuck. But,
absolutely,
yeah, I definitely want to try it out. And I just want to get into a lot of fighting games, so I want to play a lot of more. Like, I was even considering playing For Honor, despite how bad that game is, because it's interesting.
pretty curious about For Honor 2. I want to wait till their balance is in a better place, because it seems like they've really got some issues sorting that stuff out with glitches and stuff that are making the game kind of a mess. But they're definitely cool ideas.
Yeah, well, the more important thing right now is they're doing dedicated servers finally, so that means there will be probably better network battles in general.
Excellent.
No, there's a lot of like these non-standard fighting games that are good to pick up. So I want to try For Honor as well.
Maybe we could all try it together and report back on an episode sometime.
Maybe.
Well, all right. Thank you so much for joining us, Harri. It was really good to get to talk to you about this.
No problem. It was a pleasure being on this and talking to you guys.
Now you are also part of the Neutral Game canon.
Hell yeah, I am special guest fighter coming up, DiCaprio.
Here comes a new challenger.
Don't call yourself the DiCaprio of the show. That's not an honor. You don't want to be the DiCaprio.
I thought being a palette swap is a good thing?
Well,
she has that... Yeah.
Technically, you could be Ace Calomania because he was a secret battle in Street Fighter X.
Oh, there you go.
And also...
There's an honor.
Yeah, and there's also that other fighting game. Have you actually seen the Eureka fighting game, Harri?
The guys by Multiblood, right?
No. So it's the guys who did the 3D Street Fighter game. They're making their own 2D fighting game
Alpha?
with.
Okay.
It's weird.
All right, I'll definitely check that out.
I don't know if it will play well at all, but it looks interesting.
Yeah.
So, but for this episode, that's going to be it for us here. If you want to find me on Twitter, you can find me at 6264 if you wanted to send any feedback my way. And Mio, where can they find you?
You can find me at MDKII. That's MDK Roman numeral 2.
Much easier to find on Twitter than me.
Yeah, I have a very short handle. It is very precious. But yeah, feel free to ask me about anything, or feel free to suggest any future topics you might want to see, or, whatnot.
Or stay tuned for Mio's streams, which he does now and then. He sometimes does fighting games. He also does other games, and you can tune in and watch Mio play all sorts of things.
Yes, I do. I should probably stream Tekken more. I haven't streamed Tekken in a month. We'll do that again. But yeah, where can we find you, Harri?
On the internet, because don't follow me on my Twitter. It's weird.
All right, fair enough. You've got that right. If you want to find the podcast for a rating or review, you can find us on iTunes and Google Play. And a rating or review there would be greatly appreciated. Also, you could tell a friend or someone you are hoping to get into fighting games, because we like to provide a comfortable atmosphere to help people ease their way into this genre we all love. Thanks, folks. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Peace. Peace. Peace.